Hey everyone, welcome to the Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness podcast. I'm Stephanie, a book-loving, notebook-hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. On this podcast, we explore the power of books and notebooks as tools for wellness. Reading and writing can help us feel better and make life better too, and I'll show you how I do it. You'll find episodes exploring the research behind reading and writing for wellness, practical strategies to embrace your own restorative reading and writing, and you'll meet authors and special guests who help us take inspired actions in our own daily practices too. So grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness podcast. I'm Stephanie Affinito, and after a month away, I am excited to be back for another session with you. It took me a long time to be able to say yes to a break on the podcast. You know, I had been doing this for 236 episodes every single week without fail. And even though rest was calling, a break was calling, new ideas were calling me, I was very hesitant to jump out of my routine. I love routines. I have a very regimented, wonderful type A way of thinking that gets things done. So I usually stick with what works. I rarely veer off of that path, even when a new path looks better than the one I'm on. And so it took me a while to say yes to the break, but I have to tell you, I am so glad that I did. I do hope that you've missed me, but even though it's only one episode a week, when you put together all of the things that go into creating and upload and sharing a podcast episode, that list can get pretty lengthy. And even if it didn't take out a huge time block out of my calendar, it did take a lot of bandwidth to kind of wrap my head around doing it every week. Once I stopped and I gave myself permission to say yes to the break, I was shocked at how good it felt. I didn't feel bad because I knew all of you would be here waiting for me. And hopefully, we're taking your own kind of break over the summer, perhaps not even listening to podcasts as much. But over those 4 weeks, I really enjoyed it and I tried new things. I hosted an in-person retreat. I hosted an in-person workshop. I hosted a different kind of online workshop. I leaned into more one-to-one coaching. I did other things that really lit me up and have just opened some new doors for me, some new possibilities for me. So taking that break, it gave me the bandwidth to think about new ideas. It gave me the white space to contemplate what I might do with them. And now I'm back. Now I'm back with a new level of energy, a new level of excitement. But I will say, I may not be back weekly. I may move to a bi-monthly podcast so that I can keep some of the wonderful new things that I started on the break while also still maintaining the podcast. We'll have to see how that goes and where the balance falls. But for now, consider that you might only hear from me 2 times a month on the podcast. You'll still hear from me weekly on my Substack. If you're not there yet, head to alitlife.substack.com. Subscribe for my weekly Sunday letters. I did move them from Friday to Sunday to give me a bit more space to create them. And if you're in our paid community, you have all of the monthly things that we usually do. So for today, I want to open up the season again, this new season of podcasting, with a guided restorative reading and writing session. When I look at my podcast statistics, you love these. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity for me to lean into this one concept that has been made quite evident in my life lately, which is say yes to something different. I said yes to the podcast break, and it went really well. And last month, as part of our paid community on Substack, we read this most beautiful book called The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. This book had my heart. It is about two unlikely characters, one in her 30s, one in her 70s, who end up in the same hospital room, contemplating their life choices and really wondering and feeling badly about why no one is visiting them, and really taking stock of where they are in their respective seasons of life. Now, the two of them decide, one more willingly and begrudgingly than the other, to have a summer of yes, which is a summer where you say yes to the things you typically say no to. Those things could be little, like grabbing that big, giant salted pretzel on the corner in New York City and actually letting yourself eat it. It could also be a huge yes, like saying yes to driving across the country and reuniting with your estranged son and ex-husband. Could be little, could be big, but the act of saying yes opens you up to so many new possibilities. So I thought for today, I would guide you through an actual journaling exercise that I did in my journal, paired with my own reading, that really helped me to expand on this idea of yes. Now, I would love for you to go grab that book and read it on your own. But in replacement of that book, I do have a beautiful short essay by Cleo Wade from her beautiful book, Heart Talk: Poetic Wisdom for a Better Life, on the power of yes. Here's what we'll do. We'll start with a couple of deep breaths. I will share that short essay from Cleo Wade. I will lead you through 3 segments of journaling where we will get lost in our own writing world and then come back together to regroup and go deeper. And then we will end with a powerful affirmation to carry us through the rest of the day and the rest of the week or the rest of the season that we find ourselves in. Okay? All right. So let's get comfortable if you can. If you are driving, if you are multitasking, you can simply listen to this guided session and talk in the air or just think silently to yourself. But if you are able to, I would love for you to press pause, grab your notebook, grab your favorite mechanical pencil or writing utensil, and settle in. So to settle in, just take a moment to notice your breathing. Don't try to change it or fix it. Just notice it. How deep are the inhales? How deep are the exhales? And as you start to pay attention, start to be more intentional with those breaths. Breath by breath, take a deeper breath in and a longer exhale out. Deeper breath in, long exhale out. Go ahead and roll your shoulders a bit, loosen any tension that you might find there, and take one more deep breath in and one more exhale out. Let's begin with a short essay from Cleo Wade in Heart Talk. We spend so much of our lives hearing others tell us to go after what we want, but few speak to the anxiety that often comes once we actually get what we want. We cannot have our dreams if we do not learn to say yes to them. Achieving our goals and desires is only as powerful as our ability to receive them. We are all familiar with the act of standing in our own way. Sometimes it is because we are scared. You are in the final interview of your dream job, and all of a sudden you start thinking, can I really do this? Or you finally meet the romantic partner that you know you deserve, and then ask yourself, am I worthy? Yes, you can do it. Yes, you are worthy. Move out of your own way and say yes to yourself and yes to the world. Say yes. In fact, don't just say yes. Celebrate your yes. It is a victory. With that yes spirit in mind, I would love for you to head to your notebook for our first writing prompt, which is this. Notice the places in your life where you've been saying no, either intentionally or automatically. Maybe they are tiny daily choices and routines or much larger dreams that you've set aside, but notice where they are and list them here. So notice the places where you've been saying no in your life, either intentionally or automatically. And we'll do this for about 5 minutes with the beautiful sounds from Nature Healing Society in the background. Off you go. Okay. I hate that hard, abrupt stop. I'm going to learn how to fade that music back in for you next time. But our 5 minutes of our first journaling prompt is up. And I imagine you found some places you've been saying no. And the more you listed, the more you found. Or was that just me? Now, the next step in our second writing section is to reflect on your list and see what you notice. What kind of stories are you telling yourself, or have you consistently told yourself that have led you to saying no continuously in these areas? So, did you keep saying no to something because, like my own situation with the podcast, you got in such a routine that you didn't think it would be a respectful decision to make for your listeners? You didn't think anybody would listen if you took a month-long break. What stories must you be telling yourself in order for you to say no in those areas? And reflect, are those stories actually true? Number one. And number two, whose stories are they? Whose voice is that story being told in? Is it yours? Is it someone else's? Is it the world's? Is it social media's? So in the second round, reflect on your list and write about one or more stories that you are telling yourself that have led you to saying no, and deconstruct them. Are they true? Whose voice is that story coming from? And is it your own, or is it actually someone else's? And here we go. All right, we are back for our third installment. And as always, if you need more time, simply press pause, write until you are complete, and then come back for this last prompt. And here it is. I now want you to look at your list, look at your stories, and choose one that you are going to decide to rewrite into a yes. Is it yes to taking a break to something? Is it yes to trying a new hobby? Is it yes to taking a different commute to work to try a new coffee shop? Is it yes to booking the vacation? Can be small, can be big. Choose one of your no's and the story surrounding it and rewrite it as a yes. And consider this. What would this yes feel like in your body? Not just in your mind or in your life, but what would that yes feel like in your body? And what's one tiny action that can make that yes real this week? Okay, choose one, rewrite it into a yes. Think about what that would feel like in your body. Really let it sink in and get some good chemicals going in there to help you bring it to life. And then identify one tiny action that could make that yes real this week. Here we go to our last writing segment. right, everyone. There is the last closing note of our third writing prompt together. I'd love for you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just let what came out on the page settle inside of you. I am hoping that you have identified a place where perhaps a yes is possible for you and one that feels really good in your body. And I hope you take that small step that you identified on the page to reaching it. Now, to close our session today, I would love to end with one short but powerful affirmation. Say it out loud, write it in your notebook, put it on a sticky note, and put it in your line of vision all day long. Here it is. Today, I choose one small yes that helps me choose a bigger life. Today, I choose one small yes that helps me choose a bigger life. And there you have it. I hope this guided session helped you feel present and grounded, helped you identify some of the places that perhaps your life had felt small with all of those no's, and gave you permission to try something new, like I did. You never know where it'll take you. Thanks for listening, everyone. I will be back perhaps in a week, perhaps in two, but I look forward to the next time we get to chat. Have a great week and happy reading and writing. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness podcast. You'll find links to all of the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. And if you want more, you might like to join my Get Literate Substack community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life, like bonus podcast episodes, book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking inspiration, live events, giveaways, and much more. It's only $5 a month, and you get instant access to all of the previous content, too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. But there's one more thing. If you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and notebookish community, too. Thanks for listening, everyone.